Alright, is that in focus? Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm back again with the Astruzna Prague series, where I'm looking at my decks and deciding which one's for Prague, which one's for Astruzna. I kind of already know, for the most part, which are which, but there's been a few surprises to realize that some of them, for Prague, I could tune pretty easily for Astruzna. Animar is one, Edric is another. In fact, Edric, when I did that video, I concluded that he could probably hold his own on Astruzna because he's not oppressive, he's got no combo, he's just fast, resilient, and he's got enough control and disruption elements that he can keep pace. Kaervek is kind of the same way. And let me explain the whole Prague Astruzna a bit for you lads just tuning in. So Prague, the lads down here, we play more casual environment. Nobody really wants to play any combo, except when they do, like Cube when he says, "Oh look, it's Niv Mizzet. Oh look, he has Curiosity. I guess I win, don't I?" Yeah, you fucking win, great. But typically we don't go for that sort of thing. He likes to test limits. He likes to push his decks kind of far, and if there's an obvious inclusion, he'll make it without really thinking of the consequences. And on Astruzna, they go for the combo. They want the combo. They have no problems with it at all. But Mana Crypt, for example, is still a bridge too far. I don't have Mana Crypt in Kaervek. Probably should, but I'm going to be selling my copy. Let me put him where we can see him still. Yeah, that's good enough. So anyway, Mana Crypt is a bridge too far. Then let's look at Kaervek. So Kaervek is designed for Prague. The whole deck is built to get Kaervek in play as quickly as possible and recast him as many times as possible. Let me take a look at him. Let me go back. Not that you haven't been staring at the card for, how long is it? 2 minutes. But maybe some of you are just listening to this. So Kaervek the Merciless, he costs 7. 5 colorless, 1 black, 1 red. And for that mana, all you get is a 5/4 human shaman. But whenever an opponent plays a spell, plays it, not resolves it, plays it. So you can't, if they're casting a creature, you can't kill that creature, but you can kill something else. Whenever opponent plays a spell, Kaervek the Merciless deals a damage to target creature or player equal to that spell's CMC. Bang. So, deck's designed to get him out as quickly as possible, keep him in play. The deck isn't good enough to win a game in Astruzna, but since the deck is about him, and about keeping him in play, and about me having fun, choosing what gets damaged, choosing where the damage goes, watching everybody squirm, is he going to pick my creature? Is he going to pick my face? I hope he doesn't pick my face. And letting everybody squirm, that's the fun part of Kaervek. That's why I like him. So anyway, I've got stuff like Dockside. This is the only copy of Dockside Extortionist I have. He just costs too much. I got this, about the time people figured out he was good, but before the price shot up to, what, 70 euros now? Yeah, he's pretty expensive. So it comes into play, create X treasure tokens or X number of artifacts, enchantments your opponent's control. So obviously all those treasures are good for recasting Kaervek, because people like to kill him for some reason. Bastards. Recto's Charm. So this, I thought about taking this out on multiple occasions, but then I had a few games where it was key. So, guy playing Moldratha. You've got a pretty heavy graveyard there, yeah. Shame if something happened to it. How about a Recto's Charm? No! I did tell you to put in more things that protect your graveyard. My Moldratha has 6 cards with the sole purpose of protecting the graveyard. I told you about that, didn't I? Yeah, but I just haven't got them yet. Then you have to suffer. You have to suffer for your lack of planning. Or, at that time I actually did each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. How many tokens do you have? 15. Oh, bang, snap. What was your life at? 12. Oh, okay, I guess I don't have to worry about you anymore. So, Cryptgast. Double the mana from your swamps. So if I have Urborg out, all my lands are swamps, so I'll produce double in the Extort. That's pretty good for incremental life gain. Snow-covered swamp. Snow-covered swamp. There's a reason I have the snow-covered lands. When I get to it, I'll show you. Cemetery Reaper. Some of these cards are just in here because, to flesh out the deck. There's no real reason for them. Cemetery Reaper. Okay, my other zombies get bigger. I can exile a creature card from graveyard and make a zombie token. He's kind of in here for graveyard control. He's kind of in here because I used to have a Grimgrin zombie deck and I broke it up, and he's pretty effective at doing what he does, which is exiling creatures that could be a problem. So he went to Kaervek. Darksteel Plate. I had a game where I was really surprised. I mean, yes, when you equip Kaervek with Darksteel Plate, it becomes very hard to kill him. But it doesn't give him in Hexproof, it doesn't give him Ward, it doesn't give him Shroud, nothing. He just can't be killed by damage and can't be killed by Wrath of God or Damnation or anything. So I had Kaervek with Darksteel Plate, and my opponents were wholly unable to deal with it. They could not get rid of it. I was just, what's going on? I was starting to suspect that they're setting me up or something. But no, they were playing decks that just, they couldn't deal with it. In Austrasia, that would never happen. Somebody will deal with it. Mogmore Marshal. I've got some token things in here, things that I can do show tokens like Goblin Bombardment, just to flesh out the deck. Molten Leg Keep, yeah. Just keep putting counters on it, and when I need to recast Kaervek, it should help. Arcane Signet, yep, kind of ubiquitous now. Goldspan Dragon. Okay, I shoved this guy in here once I acquired one, because it makes treasure tokens, and if he's in play, and I need to recast Kaervek, sacrifice treasures and get double out of it to get him out easier. And he starts at 7, remember. Then he goes to 9, and then 11, and Jesus. When I have cast Kaervek for 13 before, because I want him in play. I want to have fun. Graveworm Muse. Quite often, even when I do get her, she's the only zombie I have. So during my upkeep, I draw 1 card and lose 1 life, because she's it. Snow-covered swamp. Yep. Chromatic Lantern. So I was playing, and this is in here because there's a lot of things that have heavy red or black requirements, and sometimes I have problems meeting those requirements. So I put in Chromatic Lantern. In Cube, he noticed this, and he looked over and said, "You've got Chromatic Lantern." Yep. In a 2-color deck. Yep. And he just filed it away and didn't think about it any further, and he didn't realize I needed the lantern. I really needed it at that point. If he'd blown it up, I would have been dead in the water for a couple more turns. Inferno Titan. Like I said, flesh of the deck. 4, double red, 6/6 giant with fire breathing. When he comes to the battlefield or attacks, he deals 3 damage any way I want to divide it among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures and or players. Mountain. Kolrathrita. It's funny, so in Astrusian, last time I went, I let Steven play Kaervek, because Steven forgot his EDH decks. He thought we were only going to do Modern. Well, the other lads wanted to do an EDH. So, I let Steven, my friend, play Kaervek. He got this. He's like, what do I do with this? And he said, I've got a card in German. Let me look up what it is. And he starts trying to look up what it is on his phone, not having any idea what it is. And I said, does it cost 3 and red-black hybrid? And he says, yes, but I don't want the other guys to know. I said, well, we kind of just need to keep the game going. It's a Kolrath Knight. It flies, it deals damage from withers, and Creatures your opponent controls with counters on them cannot attack or block. And he said, well, thanks for telling everybody. I said, just cast it. Just get it and play. So he did. Hello. Why aren't you in bed?
I'm just not. What is that?
That's a Kaervek.
That's a weird name.
Well, it's German. It's a German card.
Yeah, Germans are weird.
Are they?
Sometimes.
Is Willie weird?
No, Martin is. Well,
But Martin is half Czech, so that's why he's weird.
Yeah.
If he was full German, he'd be normal.
No, but he's really weird.
But that's because he's half Czech.
And?
Half Czech people are strange. I mean, look at you.
I'm not half German. I'm half English.
No,
American.
you're half Czech. That's why you're strange. You're half Czech. The Czech half makes you strange.
Yeah, sure.
Just say ti vole tato. Alright, Grave Titan. Like I said, besides getting him out and keeping him out, there's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason to the cards in the deck. It's just fun cards. It's just things that flesh out the deck. So Grave Titan, of course, mirrors the Inferno Titan. That's why I have the ones from the... let me show it side by side. Where did that... There it is. So, they're both from, I don't know, Duel of the Planeswalkers. They're both from some promo. And it's kind of cool art. The different versions. Put them aside. Voltaic Key. This is to untap Mana Vault, Soul Ring, or Grim Monolith, so I can get more mana and get more Kaervek. I like getting more Kaervek. Rocky Tar Pit. As always, I wish Wizards would just finish this damn cycle. They did the cycle in Mirage. A fetch lands that come into play tapped, and you don't have to spend life for them. But they have not done the enemy-colored versions. They should just get off their ass and get it done. It's been 20 years. Fucking do it. Siege Gang Commander. Like I said, you know, kind of a Goblin theme. So you've got the Mog War Marshal. I could put him in play and then pop him off the Siege Gang Commander, deal 2 points of damage to something, and when he dies I get another Goblin, which I can pop off and do 2 points of damage to something. As long as I have the mana to do it. Graven Cairn. Actually, when I was looking at the foils, it inspired me to a video on what if I bought this out. There were not that many. They were not that expensive. What if I had bought out the foil Future Sight Graven Cairn? Of course, the question is, who the hell am I going to sell them to if I do buy them out and raise the price to an interesting level? And in the end, I concluded it wasn't a good idea. But if you want to hear that, hear the thought process, just look up Graven Cairn in my catalog and enjoy. Skull Clamp. Okay, if I don't get the Siege Gang Commander and I need cards and I've got goblins, yeah, they're getting clamped. Stupid goblins. Burnish Heart. 3 for a 2/2 oak. 3 second. Go find 2 basic land cards, put them into play tapped, and shuffle your library. Yep, simple. Lightning Greaves. Another way to protect Kaervek. So if Kaervek has Darksteel Plate and the Greaves, yeah, he's pretty much untouchable. There's not a whole lot that's going to get him. Maybe that stupid Ugin with his neg and all colored permanents get evicted. You know, that bullshit, that'll work. But otherwise, it makes it really difficult. Now, in the game I was talking about, where I had Darksteel Plate on Kaervek and my opponents couldn't deal with him, if Greaves is on him, I can understand. But Plate, they could target him. They can hit him with Path to Exile, Swords, Plowshares, Dismember. They could hit him with a lot of things, but they just didn't get them. Sulphur Springs by Jeff Miracola. Founder's Enclave. Okay, this is kind of low-hanging fruit. This is just an easy way to draw a card. If I have Kaervek out, I mean, his power is 4, so he meets that requirement. A lot of the other creatures have power 4, so If I get something better, that's probably the first land I'll cut. Mountain, Sonnenring, Deutsch. Sorry. Kaervek's got a heavy German theme. I've got a lot of cards with German on them. I think he's 13% German. I have enough German cards in here to really make it feel like the deck has a lot, is really touched by that language. If I only had one or two cards, I wouldn't see them at the frequency to make it feel like that's part of his theme. Blood Artist. Okay, things are going to be dying. Kaervek's going to be killing them. And I need to gain life. So, Blood Artist, help me out. Terror of the Peaks. This got up to 100 euros, this full art foil. I bought it for 20, 25. Right when it came out, right before people found out, whoa, it's really good. They knew it was good, but then they found out it was really good. So I bought this for about 25, 30 euro, and it got up to 100. I think it crashed now because of the reprint in Thunder Junction. And I listed it for a while at 100. Nobody bought it, so I just took it down. I'm keeping it. Screw it. I like him. He does stuff. He's not really that great in this deck. Actually, that's true. He's not really that great in this deck. One of Kaervek's many sub-themes, because, like I said, the deck is just a stack of good cards, stack of fun things, is direct damage, is artillery. I don't engage in ground combat or air combat much with Kaervek. I prefer to hit things from a distance, like artillery. So Terror of the Peaks deals damage directly. Kaervek himself deals damage directly. Siege Gang Commander, Infernal Titan when he comes into play, and then when he attacks, you know, like do more damage, that sort of thing. Swamp. Mask of Gristlebrand. I needed, Kaervek used to have a memory jar. I needed it for Nikazar. Nikazar made better use of it. So I wanted a way of drawing cards with Kaervek. And I thought, Mask of Gristlebrand. That should be pretty cool. You know, turn Kaervek into Gristleband. I haven't had him play yet. I don't know how well it works, but looks cool. Waiting to try it out. Manic Vandal. When he's in the battlefield, destroy target artifact. It's fun. He doesn't need another reason. Yeah, you know, does kind of look like fun, doesn't it? Just take a studded baseball bat and smash this wizard's laboratory. Yeah. Okay, Imperial Recruiter. 2 in a red for a 1/1. When he comes into play, go find a creature card with power 2 or less. Show it to everybody, put in your hand, and shuffle. There's a lot of cards here with 2 or less power. Like the Manic Vandal I just showed you. Blood Artist, this guy, Falconwrath Noble, which is just a flying Blood Artist that costs twice as much, with twice as much power, and 50% more toughness. Sorry, no. 100% more toughness. He has 200% more power and 100% more toughness at double the cost. But he flies. And he looks cool. A lot of purple in there. I like it. Friction Tower. Okay, well, like I said, you know, I've got these damn goblins. Put their ass to work. And I've had to send their ass to the tower to put them to work. So be it. That's what they're there for. Come on, tower. Temple of the False God. Beetleback Chief. So, Goblin token theme. Thinking about it, maybe I should do more with that. Maybe I should make Kaervek more. Nah, screw it. Having him as a pile of fun black red cards is a lot more interesting. It's just neat. I just like him. It's one of the decks I've had for the longest time, and it really hasn't had that many changes. Withered Wretch has always been in there. Black for a 2/2 zombie cleric. Spend 1, remove target card and graveyard from the game. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Damn, getting kind of late here. Hammerheim has always been in the deck. Remove all land walking ability for target creature till end of turn or tap it from red. And it's really pretty. I really like the art on this. And I love the real world quotes. I miss that from Legends. They only do that now on Judge Foyle's. Well, Judge Foyle is dead. And special editions. Kokusho, the Evening Star. Kokusho. When Kamigawa came out, I actually played in, it was either draft or sealed, one of the two, and I got Kokusho. And I rode Kokusho to victory, because you just couldn't deal with him. Okay, look, I've got this 5/5 flying dragon in this slow-ass environment. And if you kill him, it's going to hurt real bad. And if you don't kill him, it's going to hurt real bad. Yeah. So, 6 for a 5/5 flying dragon. When he dies, each opponent loses 5 life, again life equal to the life loss. They've got a lot of cards now where you just gain, I would just gain the 5 life. So it would say something like, when Kokusho the Evening Star is put into graveyard from play, each opponent loses 5 life, you gain 5 life. Not you gain life equals, you just gain 5 life. There's a lot of cards like that, and it kind of irritates me. Give me more life. Balthor the Defiled. The reason Balthor is in here is so I can have him sitting around, I can keep 3 black up, and if somebody is going to exile my graveyard, and if there's a lot of things I don't want exiled, I can bring them back at instant speed. So at instant speed, 3 black, exile Balthor the Defiled, each player returns all black and all red creature cards from his or her graveyard to play. So if my opponents aren't playing black or red, I'm the only one winning from this. And yeah, they can always wipe the board after, but saves my graveyard from a Bajuka Bog. Fulminator Mage. The genie is always going on about my bullshit lands and how the lads should figure out more ways of having target land destruction because of my bullshit lands. And I have this guy in here excuse me, to deal with their bullshit lands, but not really, because they don't play any. I just kinda have him in here just because, in case I ever need him. I don't think I've ever needed him, but if I do need this, so 1 Black-Red Hybrid, 2/2 Elemental Shaman. Sack, destroy target non-basic land. I can find him with a Recruiter. The Imperial Recruiter can find that guy. Goblin Welder. He was much better when I had Memory Jar in the deck. In fact, I should get another Memory Jar and give it back to Kaervek. Yep, I should do that. But it's still in here, so I don't know if I have, say, this expedition map, and I've already drawn Urborg, and I already have Cabal Coffers, and I don't need it anymore. Well, then I can weld it up into something else. But I can also, if somebody has an artifact that I don't think they should have because it's a problem for me, and they have an artifact in the graveyard that's not a problem for me, I can make them switch. So remember, exchange target artifact player controls, target artifact in that player's graveyard. It doesn't have to be you. You can use him offensively. Expedition map. 2 tap. Sacrifice expedition map. Go find Urborg if you have Cabal Coffers. Go find Cabal Coffers if you have Urborg. Otherwise, find whatever the hell you want at the time. Mountain. Dragon Skull Summit. Toxic Deluge. So, yeah. Need to kill things sometimes. And sometimes Kaervek gets swept up in the deluge, but if whatever I'm trying to get rid of is more of a problem, yeah, so be it. Like I said, mana rocks. Things to get Kaervek quicker. Vergodeter Lotus. So, good Lotus in Deutsch. 5 tap, provides 3 mana of any one color every turn. Reliable, like clockwork, until somebody blows it up. Swamp. Phyrexian Purge. So 2 black-red. I love playing old cards that nobody sees. I love playing old cards that nobody that I play with knows about, remembers, and they're like, what the fuck? What does that do? Really? Are you kidding me? Nope. All I do is spend 4 mana and some life, and I kill whatever I want. Volras Fessenbug. So overall stronghold. Tap it for colorless or 1 to black. Tap it, rip a creature out of your graveyard, and slap it back on top of your library. At instant speed. Mountain. Murder Shred Cap. Comes to play, deals damage to its power equal to its power to target creature or player. And persist, yeah. Yeah, he's like shiny and shit. Goblin Sharpshooter. If this guy gets a Basilisk Collar, he goes to town. So, he doesn't untap during my untap state. Whenever a creature dies, and he's in play, he untaps. Tap to 1 damage target creature. So if I have him down, he's ready to go. And I give him the collar. Tap, he's got Death Touch. Kill something, he untaps. Tap, he's got Death Touch. Kill something, he untaps. Like a Gatling gun. So yeah, he's fun. I like him. Mana shots, this is Mana Vault. 1. For an artifact that lets you tap it for 3 mana. During your upkeep, you have to spend 4 to untap it, and if you don't, you take a point of damage. So, the Voltaic Key solves that problem. Sting Scourger. So this isn't really an old card, but this is a card a lot of people don't realize Red has. Because, when was... I can't really read it. 2007. Okay, so 2007. So, Sting Scourger... Yeah, 15 years old. And people forgot about him. Because he's from an old set, and Wizards doesn't like to reprint shit like this. So 1 in a red for a 2/2 Goblin Warrior with Echo. Who cares? The Echo is actually advantageous, because then I can Vor a Stronghold back to the top library and do him again. When he comes into play, bounce a creature and opponent controls back to his hand. And you do that, and if your opponent has never heard of the Sting Scourger, and he's got a good idea of what red is supposed to do, he says, what? Red doesn't do that. Look, it does. See? Here, read the card. Your dude got Sting Scourged. Kabbalistin Shots coming. This is Cabal Coffers. This is the Modern Horizons 2 alternate Cabal Coffers. It's kind of pretty. I should probably take this out of the sleeve so you can appreciate it more. Let's do that. Let's just pump it out a little bit so it's not as reflective. Yeah, I like having different arts in my my decks. Okay, all the snow-covered lands. This is why I have all the snow-covered lands, for Blood on the Snow. I use this a lot in Arena, and I like it a lot in Arena. Yeah, it costs 6. Damnation only costs 4. But this gets me something back. And that can be pretty cool. It's not going to get me back Kaervek, because I'm usually not going to have 7 snow-covered lands. But it'll get me back something. And if everybody else's things die, and you get back something, you're ahead. And sometimes being incrementally ahead in Magic is really important. Do I have any Planeswalkers in this deck? So I can destroy our creatures or all Planeswalkers, then put one back in play. I don't know if I have any Planeswalkers in Kaervek. I haven't seen any yet. Coffin Queen, 2 and a black. She's a zombie now. So if I have Graveyard Muse and Coffin Queen in play, that's 2 zombies. She's been upgraded, relabeled Zombie Wizard. So you may choose not to untap this Zombie Wizard Coffin Queen during your tap step. 2. Tap a target creature card from any graveyard in play under your control. Snatch it. If she becomes untapped, if you do untap her during your untap step, or if she dies, that creature is exiled. So, useful to remember. So, she solves 2 problems. 1, she can snatch a creature out of somebody's graveyard, give you a blocker, and let you play with it for a little while. And if you lose control of the creature because you untap her or she dies, then the creature gets exiled and you don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay, looks like we're having a part 2. So I was just on about Coffin Queen, about how the Coffin Queen dies, whatever creature she snatched gets exiled, so it's no longer a problem for you. Beacon of Unrest. Yeah. 3 black, put target artifact or creature card in a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Shuffle it back into your... I shouldn't say shuffle it, because that sounds like you take the artifact or creature card and you shuffle it into your library. No, you shuffle Beacon of Unrest. If Beacon of Unrest resolves, it gets shuffled back in your library, so you can do it again. And again. And again. Finsterer Monolith. This is the only Grim Monolith I own. I'm thinking if I sell my Mana Crypt, I should buy another one, because the lads that I play with, none of them care about Grim Monolith or Mana Vault anywhere near as much as Mana Crypt. And hearing them talk about it, what Mana Crypt represents to them, has been interesting, and I've started to think the same way they do, but I kind of shouldn't. So Grim Monolith costs 2. Yes, Mana Crypt costs 0, comes right into play, and bang, it's a free soul ring that can hurt you. In one game, I took more damage from my own Mana Crypt than anything else. Scratch that. In multiple games, I've taken more damage from my own Mana Crypt than anything else. So Grim Monolith comes into play. You can tap it for 3, and then you can spend 4 to untap it at any time, whenever you feel like it. It's not like Mana Vault. Mana Vault is restricted to you can only spend that 4 during your upkeep. So during your upkeep, you have to figure out, am I going to want this colored mana for something else, or am I going to want the Mana Vault? Grim Monolith says, yeah, at the end of one of your opponent's turns, if you got nothing else to do, you can untap it. Yeah, pretty cool. Mountain. Command Beacon. Yeah, Kaervek dies a lot. So once he starts to cost 11 or 13, I kind of want to get that mana cost back down again. So sack this, put him back in my hand, and then he costs 7 again. A reasonable 7. Kinky Jiki Mirror Breaker. So I always have to remind myself that he doesn't copy legendary creatures. He only copies non-legendary creatures, but if one of those creatures is a Massacre Worm, or an Infernal Titan, or a Grave Titan, or Terror of the Peaks, it's pretty goddamn cool. And he does some good work. Kind of funky. I didn't like this art at first at all, because I like the old Kikijiki from Kamigawa. So when they put this art in, it originally wasn't from Modern Masters, it was from something else. I forget what it was from. Some supplemental set maybe? Anyway, when I first saw that I thought, that kind of sucks. I like the old art. But now years have gone by, I've seen it more often. I like it. Shattering Pulse. 5. Destroy target artifact. Put this back in your hand. If it resolves. If they destroy the artifact ahead of you in response, or they counter it, yeah, it goes in your graveyard. Figure out how to get it back. Shaodun, the One-Eyed. The reason this deck doesn't have a demonic tutor is because of him. Because if he's in the deck, then because Kaervek has some combo elements, some combo pieces, Hirobi doesn't. Hirobi has demonic tutor and Shaodun. However you pronounce it, I've got to work on that. So Shaodun, 4, 3/2, horsemanship. Sack him during your first main phase. Return a black card from graveyard to your hand. So demonic tutor is in your graveyard. You found whatever the hell you want. You found Shaodun, right? You play Shaodun. You sacrifice him during your first main phase. You get your demonic tutor back, so you can go find whatever else you need. With Hirobi, kind of doesn't matter. I'm just going to find a big black creature and beat people with it. With Kaervek, I might find something like Perforos with a demonic tutor, and then if I get it back, I'll find Mog Infestation, and if I have enough creatures, kill somebody. I'll show you how that combo works in a minute. So, Kaervek is more combo-licious than Hirobi. That's why he doesn't have Demonic Tutor, because a lot of times the ideal play, and my opponents are savvy enough that they would figure this out and see it. Like, why didn't you use Shaodun to get Demonic Tutor and get this game over with? Well, I don't really want to. Oh, so you're fucking with us, huh? Well, yeah. Okay, let's keep playing. Perforos got the Schmied. I was so happy when I got a German foil one for Kaervek. I have an English foil, but for Kaervek I want a German foil because I want more German cards. And got the Schmied. That just sounds kind of cool. So, this guy, 6'5", unstoppable, indestructible. Yeah, as long as devotion red is less than 5, he's not a creature. Oh well, boo-hoo. Whenever a creature comes to play under your control, he does 2 damage to each of your opponents, all of them. Across the board. You got 20 opponents, you play 1 creature, all 20 of those poor schmucks take 2 points of damage. Bang. Oh, he has another ability. What is that shit? Oh, yeah. 2 in red. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Yeah, who cares? I never do that. It's another deck for it. Gratuitous Violence. If a creature you control would deal damage to a creature or player, deals double that damage instead. Hey, Kaervek's a creature. Kaervek can be gratuitously violent. Here it is, Mog Infestation. So, if I have a bunch of creatures, I'm not going to get Perforos because, yeah, why not? Even though it's German, for illustration. Excuse me, so here's a combo. I have Perforos out. I have a bunch of creatures. And for the longest time, have you ever had a card where you know what it does? You see the art, you've known it for years, you've played it for a long time, you know what it does. And then you realize you're wrong? So, in one video, I'm talking about this, and I said the combo is, so if I have, say, 10 creatures, and I do Mog Infestation, I just target myself, destroy all creatures I control. So if I have 10 creatures, all of a sudden they double into 21 goblins. And then Perforos does 2 points of damage for each of those creatures coming into play to all my opponents. And I was saying in the other video, I'd have to be careful to make sure Perforos wasn't active because I thought it said sacrifice. Target player sacrifices all creatures they control. I had quit reading the card years ago. Years ago I had quit reading these perfectly legible words in the only language I speak fluently because I knew what it did. It made somebody sacrifice all their creatures and they double them, but instead of the creatures they get 1/1 goblins. And I was so wrong because it's destroy. So Kaervek, because he's indestructible, it doesn't matter. So if I have Kaervek in play, and he's a creature, then I still destroy our creatures, I control, double my creatures, and then kill everybody. That's the combo. So he's got a game-winning combo. So, and because it says for each creature put in the graveyard this way, any graveyard this way, so if I have somebody else's creature, say Helm of Possession, their creature would go to their graveyard, but I would still get the goblins. Because Perforos is indestructible, I would get nothing off him, other than everybody taking 2 points of damage. So that's the combo. Let's keep going. Mountain. This is the newest card in the deck. And this is another good reason to have all the token stuff. I haven't had him in play, but I think he'll be good. So, black, red, 5/5, flying trample, which is ungodly. I mean, holy shit, 10 years ago, if this guy was out, black, red for 5/5 flying trampler, with nothing else. He would need nothing else, and he would be a standard staple. People were like, holy shit, I need 4 of those. How much are they? $20 each? That's nothing. Oh my god, I'm gonna get them. And $20 10 years ago is about equal to shouldered now. So years ago, if something like this had been out, it would be like shouldered, whatever the hell she is, the bastard bitch, 1 to 4, where you gain life when your opponent draws cards and shit. He would be price equivalent to her. Of course, I remember when Ravenous Baloth was $20 back in 2002, 2003. He was a house and standard. And now he's nothing. And he was 4 mana for a 4/4 that you could sacrifice and gain 4 life. Sacrifice any beast and gain 4 life. So this guy, being financially valueless for the most part, really shocked me. Really drove home how far goddamn power creep has crept up. So anyway, enough about old cards and power creep and how this guy would have been just a fucking chase rare house that you either play or you try to figure out how to beat. So sack 3 of the creatures. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield only once a turn, only as a sorcery. So the idea is, the reason I shoved him in this deck is if I Volra Stronghold Kaervek back to my hand after he dies, and I've got some tokens, and a Cool is out, then I can sack some tokens and just drop Kaervek back into play. So he's kind of a backup way of getting Kaervek out into play again. Like I said, the whole deck is either just fun, good stuff, kind of disjointed. Some of it is thematically matched, but most of it is just get Kaervek in play and keep him in play and get him back out into play when he dies. Vampire Sex Mage, my Planeswalker killer. I still haven't seen a Planeswalker in this deck. I don't have any Planeswalkers in this deck. Holy shit. I never realized that till now. I wonder if I should shove one in there just because. Schwit as liegt und Schatten. So, sort of Light Shadow. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 protection for black and white. When you equip creature smashes somebody in the face, you gain 3 life and you get to raise dead. That is, bring a creature card from your graveyard back to your hand. So that's really what this is there for. This is really there for the raise dead. Basilisk Collar, Goblin Sharpshooter's little friend, Blut Crypta, Blood Crypt, Deutsch, Blut Befleckte Schamlock, yep, Bloodstained Mire, Twitch, Urborg Gras von Yawgmoth, yeah, Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, Ancient Tomb, Erebos, God of the Dead. Oh, I remember in Ostruzna, I played Erebos, and Big Jimmy was playing Oloro, and all of a sudden, Big Jimmy's combo wasn't going to work because he can't gain life, and if he can't gain life, then he can't cause his opponent to lose life because he had Sanguine Bond and what's the other one? Sanguine Bond and Exquisite Blood. He had one or the other in play, and he was tutoring for the other piece, and I had Erebos out, and he's like, "You're wrecking my combo," and I said, "Yes, I know, because I can't do anything about enchantments, so I need to do something about you." Talisman or Geneshut. How many S's are there? Geneshut. There's 3 S's in there. Wow, I never really noticed that before. I just noticed it's a long word and didn't pay attention. So anyway, this is Talisman Indulgence, Deutsch. Solemn Simulacrum. When Solemn Simulacrum comes into play, go find a basic land, put it in play tapped, and then hope something kills him so you can draw a card. Micaeus the Unhallowed. These guys are good friends. So he dies. You get a card. He comes back as a 3/3. Actually, no, he'd be a 4/4 because he's non-human. Micaeus already gives him +1/+1, so he'd be 4/4 when he comes back. Wow. And when he dies, you get another card. Neat. So, for the first time ever, I can report that I have had a human damage me with Micaeus out. Micaeus killed him. This happened with Roby. So, Q was playing his Grayson Starn Kilomorph deck. And he had some bullshit where if you activate any ability that isn't a mana ability, you take a point of damage. And the Grayson Starn, if you take a point of damage, he does an extra 2 points of damage to you. It's tribal 1 point of damage. So I had Micaeus out. And I tapped, I'm pretty sure it was Icy Manipulator. Or maybe Nyx Lotus, one of the two, probably Nyx Lotus. And I generated mana. Cube says you take a point of damage. And then you take 2 more. And then you take another from this other bullshit I have over here to the side. I said, wait a minute. Okay, I take a damage from this thing for activating a non-mana ability. Yes. Then Grayson Starn does 2 points of damage to me. Yes. I have Micaeus in play. Grayson Starn dies because he is a human and he touched me in a way I do not approve. And Micaeus killed him. So that worked. I liked it. Nice. Dual Caster Mage. Do you really want to know why this is in here? This is in here because of Cyclonic Rift. That's really why he's in here. So, on the off chance, when somebody casts an overloaded Cyclonic Rift, which there's only 2 players in my group that play them. The Genie, and he's got 3 copies, and me, that has 1 in Edric. That's it. But if somebody plays an overloaded Cyclonic Rift, and I've got Dual Caster Mage, I can flash him into play, and I can copy the Cyclonic Rift. And he overloaded it. I get to cast an overloaded Cyclonic Rift too. I have to pick up my shit, so do you. Fair is fair. Fuck off. There it is, Helm in Possession. I've got all these tokens. A lot of them are goblins, maybe 2/2 zombie. Not very impressive. So, why not trade it for something else? Why not get something with a little more meat on its bones? A few more abilities up its sleeve. 4. You may choose not to tap Helm in Possession during end-type phase. Kind of like Coffin Queen in a way. 2. Sack a creature. Gain control of the target creature as long as you control a Helm of Possession and it remains tapped. So if you go to untap, and you're not playing with guys that are kind of casual, you just automatically untap. It's a wait, I meant to leave Helm in Possession tapped. Well, with the group of lads I play with, typically, okay, fine, don't do it again. Remember, okay. But some people, they'll be dicks about it and say, nah, you untapped it, give me my creature back, motherfucker. Do it again. Massacre Worm comes into the battlefield. Creatures your opponent's control take a -2/-2 until end turn, and then if Kiki Jiki makes a copy of it, they get -4/-4. You've just languished your opponent's boards, and whenever a creature they control dies, they lose 2 life. So if you've got a copy, extra copy of Massacre Worm because of Kinky Jiki, that's -4/-4, and they're losing 2 life twice, 1 for each copy. Neat. Living Death. Okay. So, pretty basic. 5 mana, 3 colors, black. Set aside all creature cards. Now take all creatures. Knocked over the fucking camera. Okay. Take all creatures from all graveyards, put them over there. Take all creatures in play, put them in the graveyard. All the creatures that are over there, put them into play. They just swap. Neat way to get around a lot of things. Like, I mean, the indestructible Kaervek the Merciless story that I told you about 40 minutes ago when I started this video. Living Death would have taken care of it until Kaervek comes back, because that's what he does. The cat came back the very next day. The Kaervek came back. They thought he was a goner. Smoldering a Marsh comes to play tapped unless I have 2 more basic lands. Let me take a look. I really don't have a Planeswalker in this deck. That's kind of interesting. because the only deck I know of that I intentionally built without any planeswalkers is Kaerador. Kaerador has no planeswalkers because Kaerador, yeah, that'd be a cool name, Kaerador has the Immortal Sun. The Immortal Sun says you cannot activate the abilities of planeswalkers. So if I don't have planeswalkers in here, and I don't, oh, there's no planeswalker at all in Kaervek. Interesting. Interesting. So what am I going to do for the thumbnail? Let's just get a bunch of cards. Let's just do that. Let's get it so we can read it. Zone and ring there. I mark it. How does that look? Let me, Kaervek, stand up. How's that?